Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Pointless Top 10, a show where we make top 10 lists out of pointless things while we fly by his pointless statue in Booty Bay, because inside pointless things are treasure. Let's begin. 10. Number 10 is Warden Moi BFF Jill, and Warden Moi BFF Jill is a broken quest giver located at Talar in the Grand. And this is actually a really old reference to a Singular Wireless commercial from 2007, where this girl would talk as if she was texting. And so the mom's like, "What are you saying?" And the girl's like, "IDK, my BFF Jill." But I wanted to make this less about pop culture references and more about actual names that I just thought were cool. And so the reason I picked this guy is there's actually more to his name than you would think. So he actually used to be named Warden LOLOL, which is what you would think his name was, but it turns out his name was Warden capital IOLOL. So it looked like LOLOL, but it was actually an I, making it extremely confusing. I don't know why they did that. Maybe they did that to be confusing. I have no idea. But he actually mentions how a secret vote was passed around town that resulted in him having to change his name. And if he didn't, he would have had to go the way of Corky, who is the guy that's captured in cages all over Burning Crusade. And so, yeah, he's had two unique names, which is kind of cool. So that's why Warden Moi BFF Jill and Warden IOLOLOL is number 10. 9. Number 9 is Meggie Peppenrocker, and Meggie is a goblin located at Everlook in Winterspring. And this is probably the only time Meggie Peppenrocker has ever been in a top 10 list or World of Warcraft video about literally anything. I can't imagine anybody who's like, we need to get Meggie Peppenrocker in a video, unless it was like a WoW leveling Let's Play, right? But when I saw Meggie's name, I was like, dude, this is such a cool name. Meggie Peppenrocker, like, I don't know. It's just, it felt fun to say. Meggie Peppenrocker, even just Peppenrocker, right? Just what a fun name. And so Meggie used to have a quest in Classic WoW called Trouble in Winterspring, and it was the quest that brought you to Dawn of a Snowden. But after Classic WoW and Cataclysm, they removed that. So now Meggie just walks around doing nothing. But yeah, I like Meggie Peppenrocker. She's got a fun name to say. She used to be relevant, and now she's just pointless, which makes her perfect for Pointless Top 10, and that's why Meggie Peppenrocker is number 9. 8. Number 8 is Dense Louie, and Dense Louie is a house cat located on a balcony at the Keeper's Terrace in Dornegal. And Dense Louie is a big cat. You might even say he's a dense cat, because you can try to pick him up, but you can't pick him up. He's just too dense, he's too big, and you try to do it, and then he just goes back down, and you're just like, oh my god. For some reason, you can fight the most insane bosses in World of Warcraft, but you cannot pick up Dense Louie. And I was trying to figure out why there's an envelope under Dense Louie, which was kind of weird. And apparently there are numerous heavy cats and petable cats in Dornegal, but Dense Louie is the only one with an envelope under him. And somebody said on Wowhead, that rhymes. That's not what they said. They said I might be crazy on this one, but I think Dense Louie is a Princess Diaries reference. Princess Mia's cat is Fat Louie. When she tries to run away at the end of the movie, she picks up Fat Louie to find a written letter from her father who had passed away before the movie, or it could be a part of a secret, who knows. So it's possible that Dense Louie is a reference to Princess Diaries, or part of a WoW secret. We don't know, but either way, I like Dense Louie, and that's why it's number 8. 7. Number 7 is Faux Show Knuckle Bump, and Faux Show Knuckle Bump is a Pandaren at the Stone Plow Fields in the Valley of the Four Winds. And Faux Show, along with Koyan Na and Juru Elderblade, are fighting against Ick-Thick Slicewing. I guess all those probably could be on this list as well, but Faux Show is the one that's on the list, and he can also be seen on the Timeless Isle. And during the war in Draenor, he could be hired as a follower in Garrison. But nobody cares about garrisons. And Faux Show is just beating up these Ick-Thick Slicewings. And I thought Ick-Thick Slicewing was an actual name of one of the Mantid, but it's just what a bunch of the Mantids are called. You know, the same way you have, like, Druids of the Grove. That's kind of a bad example. I don't know. You could figure it out. But yeah, Faux Show Knuckle Bump also has a quote where he says, "First we get into a fight, and then someone brings us beer. Can today get any better?" Which, highly agree, Faux Show. I would love to have a beer with Faux Show Knuckle Bump. He's also likely related to Show Nuff Knuckle Bump in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms. And I'd probably say they're related. I can't imagine there's many other Knuckle Bumps out there. But either way, he's pretty cool. He's got a great name, and that's why Faux Show Knuckle Bump is number 7. 6. Number 6 is Torchunk Two Claws, and Torchunk Two Claws is an orc quest giver located at Thunderlord's Stronghold in the Blade's Edge Mountains. And there's a few reasons I like Torchunk Two Claws. One is when you talk to him, he says, "Bah, do I look like I have time for idle chit-chat? Do I? Be quick about your business. There are ogres to be killed." Which I just like the fact that he's like, "Do I look like I got time for this? Well, do I? Like he's following it up, like really getting in your face about it. And then there's the fact that he just has 2 claws. Like most of the time you would think you'd have a claw weapon with numerous claws, or you'd have 2 claw weapons, but like he's got 1 claw weapon that has literally 2 claws on it. He's just kind of like a mediocre orc Wolverine, but like maybe that's just how he is. Maybe he's lived his whole life with only 2 claws. Maybe that's just part of his body, but I feel like it's part of his glove. So maybe he grew up just using 2 claws to fight all his battles, and now that's just what he does. Like, I'm curious about more lore over Torchunk 2 Claws. Blizzard, we need more Torchunk 2 Claws lore, please. And that's why Torchunk 2 Claws is number 6. 5. Number 5 are Steve Stevenson, Bill Williamson, and John Johnson. And all of these NPCs are flight masters all over the Southern Barrens for the Alliance. And what I love about these names is that they're all kind of correlated, because there's numerous characters in World of Warcraft where they might be like Jimmy or something like that, right? But the fact that all 3 of these NPCs are located so closely together means that there is some sort of predetermined planning to be like, yo, let's have 3 flight path NPCs that all have first and last name being very similar, right? They also all look very similar, but slightly different. Like, you would think that they're brothers or something, but clearly they're not brothers because they all have completely different names. But yeah, there's really not that much more to it. They all just have first and last names that are similar, which I think is actually more common than people would think. It's also that type of thing where if you had to make up a name on the spot, a lot of people would be like, my name's Steve Stevenson. I don't know. It's just kind of a dumb, funny thing. And so that's why I had to put Steve Stevenson, Bill Williamson, and John Johnson at number 5. 4. Number 4 is Hepzibah Sedgwick, and Hepzibah is a Forsaken found patrolling the Undercity, traveling through the Rogues Quarter and the Trade Quarter. And just what a phenomenal name that I don't think many people have ever really seen in World of Warcraft, even though Hepzibah has been around since classic World of Warcraft. Hepzibah Sedgwick. Like, that straight up sounds like the most made up name ever. And for some reason, she's got fist weapons on. And so you would assume, being in the Rogues Quarter, like, oh, okay, well, she's a rogue then. But she has mana. And so you're like, oh, well, maybe she's a shaman or something. But then it's like, that doesn't make sense. There's no shaman undead. So maybe she's a hunter? But then why is she in the Rogue Quarter? And then, I don't know. There's a lot of weird questions surrounding Hepzibah Sedgwick. And I mean, outside of that, there's really nothing else we know about Hepzibah. Like, there's no quests. There's no other lore. Nobody talks about Hepzibah. She just walks around with her claw weapons, and that's it. But you know what? Her name's pretty cool, and that's why Hepzibah Sedgwick is number 4. 3. Number 3 is Clinky Click Shatterboom. Try saying that 10 times fast. Clinky Click Shatterboom. Clinky Click Shatterboom. Clinker Click. That's besides the point. Clinky Click is a goblin located in Valdrakken, and she is an engineering trainer. And I'm just curious if this has been her name her entire life, because it's one of those things where her name is Clinky Click Shatterboom. So could you imagine her being, you know, having fishing as her main profession? You know what I mean? Or like alchemy. It's like if we had somebody named Sizzle Pop Kettle Boil and they weren't a chef. They were just like a blacksmith. It just makes sense. So it almost feels like she was destined to be the engineering trainer. It's also pretty likely that Blizzard just named her after engineering stuff. But I'm thinking of in-game lore reasons as to why she's doing what she's doing. She does seem like she's somewhat of a perfectionist in engineering and cares about what she's doing, because she says, absolute garbage quality. Last time I'll ever trust a dragon with a spanner. These fittings are trash. How am I supposed to outfit this unit when I'm given such lousy quality material? She's kind of like the Gordon Ramsay of engineering, actually. But you know what? She has a great name, and so that's why Clinky Click Shatterboom is number 3. 2. Number 2 are Innocent Jim, Hugh Man, and Punchy Lou, all located all around Dalaran. And the reason I included them all together is they're all part of a quest given by Archmage Khadgar called Enemies Everywhere. And so Khadgar is like, don't you just notice that there's some citizens in Dalaran that just seem a little too mundane, almost inhumanly so? Spies serving dark masters. Root them out, but try and keep it quiet. And so there's actually 8 different ones, but my favorite were Punchy Lou, Hugh Man, and Innocent Jim. And I think Innocent Jim is my favorite because the fact that he's named Innocent Jim just makes you automatically assume that he's up to something, right? Like, oh, that's Innocent Jim. He doesn't get into trouble at all. Like, no, you know Innocent Jim is breaking the law every day. People are probably like, what crazy thing did Innocent Jim do this time, right? And then obviously we have human, which, you know, human, right? But I think it would have been funnier if he wasn't human and you'd be like, wait, human, and he's not human? That's a missed opportunity there, but I still think it's pretty good. And then there's Punchy Lou, and I feel like Punchy Lou's name is really magnified by the fact that he's a hosen that is sitting at a wine bar reading a book. Like, it's just... Obviously, he's a spy, so it's kind of weird that he's doing that. He's probably not even reading it, but it's still pretty funny. But yeah, I love these names, and that's why Punchy Lou, Human, and Innocent Jim are number 2. And number 1 is Ice Sickle. And Ice Sickle is a bound water elemental located in Highland Pass in Stormsong Valley. And Ice Sickle has trapped 3 Stormsong hunters in blocks of ice. And so Ice Sickle is a rare world quest and is part of the criteria for Adventurer of Stormsong Valley. But, I mean, let's be real here. The reason he's on this list is because his name is a play off of Icicle, and he is an ice sickle. He's got a sickle that he carries with him, and he's made of ice. And I think I just love how stupid this is. I was like, where am I going to put this guy? I had him at number 9 for a while, and then I moved him up to 5, and I was like, I'm just going to put him at number 1. I've had him on my list of pointless top 10, like, random things in World of Warcraft, and I'm like, I could put him on the names list. And I was like, dude, this is just... It's so dumb, and I love it. Like, he's literally an icicle carrying a sickle, and he's made of ice. It's just, I don't know. So, honestly, he's perfect for a pointless top 10, and so that's why Ice Sickle is number 1. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Pointless Top 10. If you want more Top 10s, you go watch More Things You Never Noticed in WoW, which was a follow-up from Things You Never Noticed in WoW, or Odd Things in World of Warcraft, if you want to learn about some odd things. Also, consider supporting the channel by becoming a channel member, or by liking the video, or on patreon.com/crendor. Okay? Okay. See you.